Welcome to Rise and Thrive. Don't just watch this once, watch it daily. Not for motivation, but for transformation. Because nothing around you changes until something within you does. And the change you're waiting for, it doesn't knock, it whispers, it builds in silence, and it begins right now with you. Most people spend their whole lives waiting for a breakthrough, waiting for a better job, a better partner, a better version of themselves to just appear. But life doesn't change because you wait, it changes because you act. And action doesn't arrive in some loud, dramatic burst. It arrives in the quiet, in the daily, in the unseen, in those ordinary moments you don't even notice until they shape everything. You see, change is not an event. It's a ritual. It's repetition, awareness, deliberate choice. You don't stumble into a new life. You craft it, one decision at a time. Watch this video once, and it may inspire you. But watch it every day, and it will rewire you. Because the truth is timeless. The world around you cannot transform until you do. Every single morning, like clockwork, you're handed a sacred decision. Will you repeat your past, or will you rise into your future? That moment, before the noise, before the scrolling, before the world starts pulling on you, that moment isn't ordinary. It's sacred. It's your reset button, your blank canvas, your doorway. But what do most people do with it? They throw it away. They wake up and immediately surrender it to the noise. They check their notifications before they check their breath. They scroll before they sit. They react before they reflect. And they wonder why every day feels the same, why progress is slow, why their goals remain distant. It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they lack ambition. It's because they've never trained their morning. They've never guarded the most powerful hour of the day, the first. Because here's the truth no one teaches. The gap between discipline and destruction. It's razor thin. It's 1 hour, one breath, one choice. And that single hour, it has the power to shift your entire direction. Not with drama, not with noise, but with clarity, the kind that stacks slowly, invisibly, and powerfully over time. Transformation doesn't shout, it whispers. It whispers when you rise early, when you sit in the stillness instead of swiping in chaos, when you choose alignment before the world chooses distraction. That is where trust begins, the trust between who you are right now and who you know you're meant to become. When you gift yourself that hour, not to feed your ego, not to numb out, but to remember who you are, you don't just change your morning, you change your trajectory. You go from reacting to creating, from following energy to generating it, from noise to voice, from distraction to direction. Because your transformation doesn't begin in emotion, it begins in structure, in the repeatable sacred decision to train your mind before the world tries to claim it. This moment, this message, this breath, it can't just be a spark. It must become your ritual, not when you feel motivated, not when it's convenient, but every day, with intention, with reverence, with discipline. Because repetition creates identity, and identity shapes everything. You don't rise by willpower alone. You rise by programming, by choosing what enters your mind when it's most open, most vulnerable, most impressionable. And that window, that sacred hour, it's always the morning before the emails, before the voices, before the world demands a piece of you. That's when you decide who you are and remind yourself until it becomes real. If you want to change your actions, don't start with behavior. Start with environment. Start with input. Start with what you consume when your guard is down and your soul is listening. Feed it strength, feed it purpose, feed it silence, and slowly, it will give you something back, a new identity, one that no longer needs to try harder because it no longer identifies with weakness, one that no longer fears slipping because its standards have already shifted. If you want to change your future, change what you repeat, not what you wish, not what you say, not what you dream, what you do. And what you do consistently, that becomes you. And no matter how far off course you've drifted, No matter how many days you feel you've wasted, you're always one morning away from reclaiming your path. But it starts now, not later, not someday. Now protect the hour that builds your future self, because the world will never stop shouting. But if you give yourself to yourself first, you won't just survive the noise. You'll lead through it. You'll create through it. You'll rise above it. And then you follow through. You keep that promise to yourself, not because it's easy, not because someone's watching, but because you said you would. And in that quiet, powerful moment, you send a signal to your subconscious. I am someone I can trust. I am someone I can count on. That's where real confidence is born, not in applause, not in praise, not in the fleeting high of external validation, but in the invisible victories, the small, consistent decisions made when the world isn't looking. Confidence is not loud. It doesn't shout, doesn't beg, doesn't perform. It arrives. It moves silently. It's in how you walk into a room, grounded, unshaken, needing no explanation. It's in how you respond instead of react, in how you lead, not with noise but with certainty. And where does that certainty come from? From trust, from doing what you said you'd do, again and again and again. Trust is not a feeling, it's a pattern, a discipline. Focus is a skill, not a gift. It's not about waiting for motivation. It's not about having the perfect space. It's about training your mind again and again to cut through the noise. You don't gain focus by wishing for it. You earn it by refusing to chase every distraction. You build it by choosing intention over reaction. You train your mind like you would a wild dog, command it, sit, stay, return. And at first it resists, it runs, it chases, it whines. But eventually, it learns, it listens, it settles. And from that stillness, your work deepens, your thoughts clarify, your presence becomes undeniable. These are not personality traits. These are not gifts from the universe. They are disciplines built slowly, relentlessly, in silence. And discipline, it's not romantic. It's not sexy. It doesn't care if you're in the mood. Discipline shows up when you don't feel like rising, when you want to quit, but you don't, when it's hard and you still move. Discipline is how you take your life back from your emotions. It's how you shape a life that isn't dictated by mood swings or motivation, but by mission. Every day you are being programmed. There is no neutral. Every message you read, every video you scroll past, every opinion, every notification, it's writing code into your brain, shaping your beliefs, altering your focus, defining your value. And if you don't choose what goes in, the world will. The ads win. The drama wins. The noise becomes your anthem. And over time, you forget who you were before the scroll. You don't even know what your real desires sound like. But you can break that pattern. You can take your power back, not all at once, but daily through ritual. Start by building a morning that sharpens you, not numbs you. Consume something that reminds you of who you are, not who the world wants you to be. Build a space that filters your mind before the world fills it. And when you do that enough times, clarity replaces confusion, peace replaces chaos, and presence replaces panic. You don't chase confidence anymore. You radiate it. You don't beg for focus. You live from it because you didn't wait for these things to magically appear. You built them like a craftsman, like a warrior, like someone who knows the world may be loud, but you are louder inside. You were not born for burnout. That constant sense of urgency, of fatigue, of always being behind, it's not your fault, but it's not your destiny either. It's a symptom of drift, of neglect, of giving your life away one scroll at a time. You weren't built to chase 100 things at once. Your soul wasn't wired for endless tabs, texts, and decisions. You were designed for presence, for power, for stillness. But we forget. Not because we're weak, but because we've been trained to abandon ourselves. The good news? You can return, not by overhauling your whole life, but by starting small. 5 minutes, no noise, no phone, no rush, just you and your breath. That's where the reconnection begins. That's where your spine straightens, not from ego, but from remembrance. That's where your thoughts begin to calm, not because the world is quieter, but because you stopped feeding the frenzy. And in that moment, something ancient awakens, a clarity, a presence, a knowing. I am not my fear. I am not my past. I am not this anxious loop running in my mind. I am the observer. I am the one who chooses. And that choice, that is sovereignty. That is the root of your real power. Because the moment you realize you can choose, the world loses its grip on you. You may not control what happens around you, but you can absolutely control how you meet it, how you move, how you breathe, how you speak, how you respond. You can control what you feed your mind, what you build in the first hour, what you give your energy to when no one's watching. And those small wins, they are not small at all. They are the anchor. They are your compass. They are your return. Your rituals become your identity, and your identity becomes the foundation of your life. The truth is, you don't need louder motivation. You need deeper structure, because life doesn't change when you understand something once. It changes when you remember it every day. Your nervous system doesn't transform from a single video. It transforms through repetition. That's why warriors drill the same moves. That's why monks chant the same mantras. That's why masters repeat the same scale until it becomes them. One truth, repeated, lived, embodied. That's how you rewire your brain. So here's the real question. What message are you repeating each morning? Is it your truth? Is it aligned? Or is it someone else's noise? Because one intentional input, repeated daily, will reprogram your mind far more powerfully than 1,000 random motivations ever could. Let this message be that input. Let it be your ritual. Let it echo through your morning until it becomes part of your wiring. And eventually you won't just believe it. You won't just say it. You'll live it. You'll walk differently, speak differently, move with the unshakable clarity of someone who knows they're no longer waiting to become. They've already arrived. If that's the life you want, not louder, but clearer, not faster, but deeper, then this is your space. This is your rhythm. This is your return. Come back to this message daily, relentlessly, with reverence. Let it strengthen you when your motivation fades. Let it center you when the world spins. Let it shape you until you no longer need it, because you've become it. This is not a video. It's a blueprint. It's a command. It's a return to your true self. So breathe in, decide again, repeat again, and rise, quietly, powerfully, completely. Before you go, let me leave you with this. You don't need a louder life. You need a quieter mind. You don't need to chase more. You need to anchor deeper, because everything you're searching for, clarity, confidence, peace, it's not out there. It's already within you, waiting for structure, waiting for space, waiting for you to return to it every single morning. This isn't about motivation that fades after a few hours. This is about rewiring your life, breath by breath, habit by habit, decision by decision. If this message spoke to something deep in you, don't just click away and forget it. Come back to this daily. Subscribe to Rise and Thrive. Let this become part of your ritual. And if you're serious about building clarity, discipline, and identity, not once, but every day, we're building something here just for you. This is more than content. This is your return path to presence, power, and purpose. So stay close, stay committed, and remember, you don't rise by accident. You rise by ritual, by choice, by repetition. And here, on Rise and Thrive, you never walk that path alone. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, breathe deep, stand tall, and keep showing up for you.